Welcome people to Real Stories UK. This is a story about Nicola Priest, a 23-year-old woman from Birmingham who was convicted of killing her own 3-year-old daughter because she was getting in the way of her sex life with her boyfriend Callum Redfern. It was found that Priest set up a TikTok account just a month after killing her daughter. In one sick video, Priest hangs her head in shame and seems to wipe tears from her face as the song plays in the background. She then mouths the words to the song, "I'm sorry mum and dad, I know I messed up bad, I should have done better." She also posted other clips with some twisted tributes to her daughter before turning her attention back to her TikTok videos. Nicola Priest and her boyfriend Callum Redfern were both unanimously cleared of murder but convicted of the child's manslaughter. Priest was sentenced to 15 years and Redfern was jailed for 14 years. Nicola Priest and Callum Redfern were both convicted of manslaughter after a jury heard Priest rang 999 only after the youngster was dead. The mother, and I don't even feel comfortable calling her by that title, was sentenced to 15 years for manslaughter and given a 3-year concurrent sentence for child cruelty. Her boyfriend was also sentenced to 14 years in prison for manslaughter. Sentencing Priest and Redfern last week, Mr. Justice Foxton QC said, "On the evening of August the 8th, you and Redfern went to Priest's flat, where the two of you had sex. Kaylee wanted to stay up and play. There is no direct evidence of what happened next. Kaylee was sick more than once during that night as a result of the severe beating. You both lost your tempers, and it is clear that you were joint participants in that assault. You both knew you had seriously injured Kaylee. You, Priest, did nothing to seek medical help. A prompt call to the emergency services could have saved Kaylee's life, and you both lied repeatedly during your interviews. From the severity of the injuries caused by the assault, it is clear that there was an intention to cause serious harm. The injuries were caused by a ferocious assault. You and Redfern were equally responsible. You had ample opportunity to raise any concerns. Kaylee was vulnerable, and you were in a position of trust. You did nothing to summon help." After sentencing, Redfern's father Andrew branded Priest an evil mother and says she doesn't deserve kids. He said his son was misled by Priest and got caught up in it, describing him as a kid incapable of manipulating his ex-girlfriend. He also claimed Priest would refuse to change Kaylee's nappy, telling her daughter, "You can just stay in it," while smoking outside the house. The final moments leading up to the death of Kaylee Jade-Priest were revealed in chilling CCTV footage. In the footage which was played to the court, Nicola Priest and her daughter Kaylee Jade were seen together just hours before the youngster's death, using a lift at the block of flats where they lived in Kinghurst House, Solihull. The footage showed Priest's total disinterest in her daughter, repeatedly checking her reflection in the mirror and scrolling through her phone, while the youngster looked up at her mother's face. While in court, Kaylee was described as a loving and happy child. She died from serious chest and abdominal injuries. Medical examinations later showed she had also suffered historical injuries, including broken ribs, lower leg fractures, and a broken sternum. Birmingham Crown Court heard Priest and her 22-year-old lover, Callum Redfern, pointed the finger of blame at each other during the trial, but were at the time still in a sexual relationship. Jurors heard how Priest would hit Kaylee around the head and refer to her as a effing brat, while the youngster was also heard crying in a fearful tone. On one occasion, neighbours in a flat below in Kinghurst House in Solihull recalled hearing a bang above and then Kaylee crying, before allegedly hearing Priest say, "I'll just say she fell off the bed." But my thoughts are, maybe if the neighbours said something or told someone, somebody could have stepped in sooner. The same residents also claimed they noticed when Kaylee cried, the response appeared to be drowned out by music. In a text message exchange between Priest and Redfern on July the 24th, 2020, just days before Kaylee's death, Priest told Redfern, "I'm gonna kill her because she keeps leaving the living room or going in the kitchen, so I've paled her one and smacked her for shitting in her nappy." Redfern replied, "Good, give her one from me." Priest replied, "I will, babe." 3 days later, Redfern messaged Priest saying, "I'm going to keep that little brat away from me, sick of your spunking daughter." Prosecutors said the messages painted a vivid picture of the uncaring attitude from Priest and Redfern towards Kaylee. Callum's father, Andrew Redfern, told the son, "Nikki is an evil mother, she doesn't deserve kids. She was stood outside this house smoking and Kaylee's nappy needed changing. She said you can just stay in it. That was her attitude. She wouldn't come in the house to take her to the toilet." Of his son, Andrew said he just got caught up in it and that he was only there so he could have sex at the end of the day. But I feel like the reason for him being there is irrelevant. The bottom line is, he was there and he should have tried to help. Andrew Redfern also added, he's too much like a kid himself to be manipulating her. But I just think, maybe the dad didn't know the son as well as he thought. Opening the case at the start of the trial, prosecution barrister Andrew Smith QC said, "The prosecution case is that her death was caused by her having received serious injuries to her chest and abdomen in a sustained assault on August the 8th of last year. That intentional assault occurred when both of the defendants were alone with Kaylee Jade." From the time Priest moved into the flat in 2019, neighbours heard her shouting with real regularity at Kaylee, including comments like, "Shut up, go away and leave me alone," and never anything positive or kind. In a statement released through the police after the verdicts, Kaylee's grandmother, Debbie Windmill, said the impact of her death would live with her for the rest of her life. She said, "I could not stop staring at the smile on her beautiful face. I loved every moment watching her develop to nearly school age. Preparing to buy my grandchild her first school uniform was something that filled me with so much happiness. I couldn't wait to see her in it, but this opportunity was stolen from me in the most brutal of ways. Everybody deserves the gift of life. Kaylee Jade deserved to show the world who she could have been and what greatness she could have brought to the world. Nanny will forever hold you in her heart." Speaking afterwards, Detective Inspector Adam Jobson said, "This is a really horrific set of circumstances, and I cannot imagine for 1 second what Kaylee Jade's family must be going through. They've lost their 3-year-old family member at the hands of her own mother and Nikki Priest's boyfriend, Callum Redfern. It's a grim picture. I don't think sadly we will ever fully know what has happened. We will never get that full picture. Both have not admitted to their own responsibility. In my opinion, she failed as a mother and should have never had a child. And to all the real mums out there who truly love and care for their children, I would do anything to protect their child. We love you and we respect you on a huge level." For the latest in urban news and stories, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned into Real Stories UK.